Monday, 7th. Oh, not the 17th of October. Hmm. Let's fix it immediately. Monday, 21st of October. Let's go again. Whew. So today was successful, I would say, given the numbers of conversations that I was able to have. Wow, started off with Gwenda in Australia, and Gwenda is a returning guest on the podcast. It was a ton of fun speaking with Gwenda. And then Raquel, so Australia, then back to Tampa, then to the Philippines, which is Dave, who was episode 178, 2016, returning. He's continued with his business. It was so good to hear what he's doing and his success. It's been 8 years. It's always fun. Christopher Stone, another one of those conversations. Had a conversation with him in 2019. Returned to the podcast, is doing well. Uh, Lisa, first time on the podcast. Very cool conversation with Lisa. She actually, came out and asked questions of me in terms of what I was doing from the perspective of the impact I'd like to have, but then as well dug into the concept of we get to choose what we do and how we do it. And sometimes in life, we do not exercise our choice, but exercising choice and remaining balanced in the midst of it is up to us. So for me, my family is very important in the mix of things, even though I'm pursuing this goal and it takes a lot of time. It's an investment of time and throat as well. Yeah, so it's an investment of time and energy, and of course, money as well to get done what we're doing. But I've gotten permission from my family to be able to navigate their schedule, yeah, for these conversations, and that's very important, and I'm grateful for that. Jill didn't come out. Melissa brought a conversation that was great. So I noticed in Melissa's picture, like she was never on top of the horse. Yeah, it's always pictures with her on the side of the horse. And we went into the conversation of how horses help with healing from a scientific perspective, as well as it's just being around the horses helps. And a fun conversation. Really enjoyed Melissa's perspective on how she found something she could do with a horse that was her business partner, as she described. But instead of retiring the horse has actually helped her start an entire line of business that is purposeful. And it's always comforting when you have an idea. You're not 100% sure if the idea is actually going to be something that could work, but then you live to see it come to life. It's always fun. And Melissa definitely did that. Stacy, another great conversation. Stacy talked about abuse, uh, domestic abuse as a young child. And something that came out in that conversation is being able to get out of the prison that holds you in, possess the keys to get out, and then look at that and have that advantageous position. But in so doing, look at other people's prison that their trauma has them trapped in, and then being able to help them see that they can get set freed from that. Very cool conversation. Nicole brought the energy. Uh, so I'm testing my memory here with the conversations I've had, right? It's a lot, and I'm just testing to see what I remember from the conversations, which isn't like it doesn't mean that the ones that I had that were impactful and good. It's just memory is it's interesting, right? I'm an older guy now, right? So it's interesting. But yeah, Nicole came in. It was a very cool conversation with Nicole. Uh, I think like the part that touched me with what Nicole was doing is the Ghana perspective, right? Like she just came back from Ghana and that's been good for her, yeah. Like she talked about her job and how many things it takes from her to show up the way she does show up, but you know, having vacation time and having a place to reset and the importance of that. Sandy, as you can see, her hands are spread out there. Sandy, ooh, brings the energy, aka Big Bird. Interestingly enough, yellow is my color today. But yes, Sandy was a fun conversation. So Therese, yeah, Therese was fun as well. And then after the conversation, she drops on me, I'm originally from Trinidad. So that was fun. I picked up the slight accent once when she was speaking, but she moved when she was a child. Couldn't figure it out until the end. But that was a fun conversation. Really hoping for the best with her and what she's doing in her business space. Danielle. Ooh, the first time I spoke with Danielle, she had just broken up with her boyfriend way back in 2018. She just broke up with her boyfriend, and it felt as though the call, she came off of the call with her boyfriend and then came on to the call with me for the podcast. And she just couldn't, contain her emotions, I guess, and she expressed that. And you can hear that, right, on the episodes. If you go, someone asked me today, how do I even listen to the past podcast? So you go to 12menconvos.com. I'll put that to the bottom here in the future so you could, excuse me, you could probably just see that there. But that's there. 12 Men Convos where Danielle came out. Danielle was, but you can simply search as well. Like simply search her name and you'll see her. But her episode back then was 1844. But anyway, Danielle is like a raw food chef and she got out of the relationship, came back onto the podcast, and shared what she's doing in Nicaragua. She's setting up this entire kitchen. She's gotten 2 acres of land and just doing amazing. She has a daughter now who 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 drowned, yeah? Her daughter drowned, stayed under the water for quite a while, and it's simply a miracle that she's alive, was in a coma, but she's back out, right? Came through. I think she was 2 years at the time of it happening, right? But doing amazing. And yeah, Danielle, great to reconnect with you. Brooke, the businesswoman who carries people to get to the 6 figure mark in 1 year. Brooke is still, Brooke is a return, yes. She's still doing the same thing she was doing back then. Super fun. Awkward point in the conversation when I mistook what she said her age was. It happens though, but so forgiving. So forgiving. So it's just what happens in conversation sometimes. Annabelle. Ooh, so Annabelle is wearing a dress that has butterflies on it, and her hand is outstretched to her dog that she's touching there. You can't see it in that picture, but Annabelle and I spoke about metamorphosis and, the ability to move, shed your old skin. Chitra, originally from India, then moved to Dubai, then to New Jersey, I believe is what she said. Super cool conversation. Talked about basically navigating the challenges of moving, but getting through imposter syndrome. Yeah. Ooh, Teresa. So this her name is pronounced Teresa. Interestingly enough, Therese is here. But anyway, so Teresa, she's all about what I would summarize change and getting companies and teams to be able to navigate that in the best way that fits them. Really into the numbers. Wow. And very driven, has been through many organizations, and you could hear the joy for, what Teresa does. Sarah Murdoch. Oh, Sarah came on and she basically highlighted Dr. Sarah. She basically highlighted the social side together with the science of what I'm doing to our level and the concept of the value it brings and how people interpret what goes on. So, for example, one of the things I've seen is that there are people who are working in organizations and it's not the right fit, and there's a time span that they stay there, sometimes 20 to 30 years, and it's not a right fit. And basically, what Sarah is expressing, and I agree tremendously with it, is that there could be more value to putting the right people in the right places in the world, right? And within an organization, just it makes sense. Yeah, uh, it makes sense. It was great. Kristen came back. I missed her. She had a medical emergency and couldn't make it. And she came back onto the podcast, apologized, which, yeah, life happens, right? But it was a really calm, cool conversation. We talked about the power of walking, right? And, being present. She shared her journey, her financial challenges with being out of a job and then getting back into a job. Ooh, today is going for quite a bit. So the only reason I take note of not doing these for this long is there's a part of me that's fearful of losing my voice. So that's why I usually go through quickly. But at the same time, it feels as though logging the stories and the conversations that I'm having so important. So Maggie Jackson. Ooh, Maggie was another wonderful conversation. Uh, Let me just give me 1 second here. Uh, just getting a message here. But Maggie highlighted uncertainty, right? And the power of uncertainty, and how we should be okay with uncertainty and what it does for us, like where it carries us in life. Super cool conversation again. Next up, I had Elena, originally from Cuba, and Elena shared like just the value that comes with getting past, again, the career path and getting into helping other people. Dr. Neril, all the way from Australia, jumped in, had a very cool conversation. Again, Dr. Neril touched on, credibility, and she is, let me see, former television reporter, Olympic announcer, but she talked about credibility and how important it is, but in levels, yeah. So when we show our credibility with people by showing up for our conversations and how we show up, so important, yeah. Peter, a return guest, the meditation king is what I would call him, but super cool conversation. Terry, Terry was very cool as well. All right, so and then Genevieve, Terry. No, I don't think Terry connected. So that's an error there. Terry was not on the podcast. Yeah, I almost fell to that. Then I had Genevieve, 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 Genevieve. Yeah, so I had Genevieve. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. She said it's the mix of French and English, is it? Genevieve. Genevieve. Jones, right. So, really great conversation. Hopefully, Genevieve comes back to Trinidad. Yeah. Didn't connect with Lisa. Rebecca, Australia again in the real estate space. Wow, quick firing, bringing Wade GPT to market soon. And then ended off with Misha. Excellent conversation. Misha is so easy to speak with. Wow, had a pre conversation with her on Thursday past when it didn't work out well. Spoke with her today. We brought 12-minute conversations and then had a conversation with her after. That was a ton of fun. Misha keep being an amazing person. So today, overall, 24 conversations, 809 remaining, 6 weeks to go. Yeah, let's see. Let's see how it goes. Be mindful. It's about keeping the voice. I started something today where I I changed the format of the podcast, and that was fun. Oh, that was fun. So, for those that are listening, have a good night. The purpose of this log is to look back in time and see, you know, what occurred.